Hi, it's Jordan Teen 1, and I'm back today to show you how to make my new fan bracelet. And here's what it looks like. So I think it has a pretty unique look to it, and you can make it either on the monster tail or the rainbow loom. And today I'll be showing it on the rainbow loom, but if you are using the monster tail, you'll just need to work with 4 pins in the shape of a square. So using the rainbow loom, you want to have your pins set up so that they are in line with one another, and we're just going to be using 4 pins in the shape of a square. And for my colors today, I have the Rainbow Loom jelly bands and then also the Rainbow Loom black. And for the bracelet that I'll be making here, I'm going to be doing 12 of these sections. So I need 10 bands of each color for each section. So I have a total of 20 of each of my jelly colors. And then for the outside color, which I have black, I have about 68 of those. I'm going to start on the 4th pin up on the right hand side of the loom. I'm going to take my outside color, and that's just going to go straight over to the center, and there's no need to twist. And then I'm going to take another black, and that's going from that same pin on the right, and it's going diagonally up and to the left. And so now I'm going to take another black band, and this time I want to double it. So I'm just placing it on my hook, twisting and putting it back on. So you'll have the 2 loops, and that's going to go right on that pin on the right hand side. And now I want these lower bands to come up through that cap band, that doubled band. So I'm just going to take my hook and push back on those top 2. I'm going to grab the next one in line. It's the diagonal one. I want to hold this cap band in place, and that's just going to come up and move to that pin above. And then I'm going to go back down through, push back. I'm going to grab the bottom one. That's going to come up through. I'm going to leave that on my hook, and I just want to slide this cap band off, and then I'm going to put this right back on that same pin on the right. And I can see that my bands are just a little bit twisted, so I'm just going to take a second and try and straighten them out. And now on this lower set of bands here, I'm going to place another black band. Just going straight across, and then I want to take the bottom off here on the right side and then the left, and I'll push that down. And then I'm going to start with my first color. So I have red, and again it's going across the bottom, and then I want that bottom layer to come off. Push that down, and then I'll do a second red, and again the bottom's going to come off. And then once I've done 2 of my color here, what I'm going to do is take this band and I want it to move to these upper pins. So on the right here, I'm just going to slide it off and move it above, and then I'll repeat that for the left side. It is a little bit loose when you take that off. And now what I'm going to do is grab this top black band. Let me angle this up so you can see it a little bit better. It's going to be the very top one that the red is going through. I'm going to pull it down, and on the right side I'm going to slide it back on the pin. And then I'll do the same thing on the left here. I'm going to pick up this black band that's on the top, pull it down, and then on the inside here I'm just going to slide it over that pin. So I'm just putting that band right back on the pins. And now across the top here I'm going to add another black, or whatever your border color is. And then I want the bottom 2 bands to come off at once. So I'm taking the bottom black and then the red and pulling that over the top. And then I'll just repeat it for the left side, bottom 2. So that's just one little section here, and inside of each of the sections we're going to be doing a total of 5 of these before we switch to the next section. So I'm going to repeat this 4 more times. So again, I'm taking a red, it's going across the bottom, and then the bottom band comes off, and then I want to do a second red, and remove the bottom. And now once I've done 2 of that color, I want this band to move above here. So just do it from the right and then also the left. So as I said, when you release this, it's going to pull up just because it's so short for right now. But once it gets longer and it grows down through, you won't have to worry about that as much. And so now once again, I want this same black band here, this upper black band, which is really going to be the center of this little fan or circle part that we're making. I'm going to grab it from the right side, pull down, and then from the inside here I'm just sliding it over the right, and then I'm going to grab the other side of it here, the left side. Let me just get it from above. That's going to pull down and go over to the left. So we're always putting this same band back on. And now once we've done that, we need to loop the top. So I'm taking another one here of my border color, and then the bottom 2 are going to come off of each side. It may seem a little bit confusing at first, but I think once you do it several times, you'll definitely get the hang of it. So that was my second of the sets of bands, so I'm going to repeat this again. So your inside color goes across the bottom, and then you loop, and then you want a second of that same color, and then you're looping that. Once you've done 2, you need to move the band to the pins above here. And then once again, this top black, you're just going to pull that down and get it back on the pins below. And then finally you want to add that border at the top. And then remove the bottom 2. So that was my third set of bands. So I'm just going to do it 2 more times. So again, I'm sticking with a red. And remove that bottom. Of course you can mix up the colors, and if you want to, you could actually do 2 different colors since there's 2 for each row here. But I'm just going to try and keep it the same, keep it a little bit more simple. So now I have my second red here. And now I'm ready to move it to the pins above. And now once again, you want to make sure you're just taking this very top black. You can see if you look from the side view, it's the one that all the other reds are going through. So they're always going through the same one, pulling each side down. And now I want to do that top border band. Push down, and then I have one more set of this same color. And then a second one of the same. I'm just going to move it above. And I do want to get this same band right back on here, the same black band or your border band that all the reds are going through. Even though I'm not going to be adding any more reds, I do need to get it back on these lower pins. And then finally I have my top border color here. And push down. So now we've completed the very first section and we're ready to move on to the second one. And let me just show you on the bracelet that I already made. You can see here that this bottom section, all of the green bands are going through this one side on the left. And then for every section they're going to switch sides. So now for this blue section, they're all going through the same band on the right. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to switch sides. So before, all of the bands were going through this bottom section. So now, this time when we switch colors, we want all of the bands to come through this top section, and this is going to be the outside border here. So I'm switching my colors to orange for the middle, and this time they're going to get laid across the top because we're doing that opposite. And then you're just removing the bottom. And then I'll do a second orange. And now this orange band needs to move down. Before we were taking them from the bottom and moving them up, so we're just doing the total opposite here. And now once again, the very top black band here that you can see, that is going to move up and go back on the pin. So I'm always pulling it up from the inside and then sliding it over the pin here. And now this is going to be my outside border here, so I need to do the black, and then the bottom two are going to come off of each side. So I'm just going to keep repeating this pattern again until I have 5 sets of the orange done. So that was my first set. I'll place my second set. Remember, it's going over across the top this time. And then the orange needs to come down. And now this top black band here, the one that the first orange set went through, needs to just go right back on. And then finally I'm going to loop the border here at the bottom. And then I'll do my third set of orange. And I'm just moving it down here. And the top black is just sliding right back on here. We're just resetting it so the next ones can go through it as well. And you can see that it's starting to work its way out the bottom here. You can just pull it a little bit. And now I'm going to do my fourth set of orange. And then bring it down. Get the black back on. And then the outside border here. And now I'm going to do one more set of orange. So hopefully you're getting the hang of it by now. As I said, once you do a few, you'll probably get to see the pattern and it'll become a little bit clearer to you. And then I do want to get this black, this top black, back on just to get it set up for the next one here. So now we've done the bottom two sections and we need to switch back again. So now we're going to be placing the colors across the bottom. So let me just start this next section for you. I'm switching to yellow, just going back to that same pattern that we did for the first section. So I'm doing 2. And now the yellow is going to move up. And then the black here, the one that's on the very top, is just going to move back on the lower pins. You get the border at the top and the bottom two come off. So I'm just going to continue in the same pattern. I would do 4 more sets of yellow across the bottom and then they move up every time. And then when I start the next color, which will be the green, I'm going to flip it and do the opposite. The colors will go across the top and move down. So I'll just fast forward here, and when it gets long enough, I will show you how to remove it from the loom. I now have my bracelet to the length that I'd like it, and I'm ready to take it off of the loom. So you can see there is just one rubber band here that's going across these 2 pins. So I'm just going to pick it up from the right side, leave it on my hook. If you want, you can hold it on with your finger just so it doesn't slip off. And then I'm going to pick up the other side, and I'm going to take this out. Actually, I'll just remove this row of pins here. It'll be easier. So you can see the bracelet here. And so now what I'm going to do is, let me show you the 2 ends. You can see where we've ended here, it's on the right hand side. And what I want to do is kind of finish this off so it looks nice when it's together here. So what I'm going to do is, let me just take a clip and get this on the 2 loose ends here, just for now. And I'm going to take a couple extra bands and I'm going to add them to this plain side here. Mine happens to be purple. So I'm just going to go through this center black here, and I'm going to pick up another black and I'll just pull it through and get it back on my hook. And now I'm going to take another black, and this time I wanted to go through this next band, which is purple. So what I'm actually going to do is just hold it in my fingers and just take off this band that's on the end. Just don't want to let that go. And I'm just going to take my hook and I'll slide it through these other 2 purple and then get the one that's in my fingers back on. So you'll see there's 4 bands there with the purple sandwiched in between. Taking my next black band and I'm going to slide it through all 4 of those. And I'm going to repeat that again, so I'm just going to leave this end in my fingers, leave the other black on my hook, and I'll go through the next 2 purple here, or whatever color you did there. and then get the black back on my hook, take another black, and I'm just going to slide it through those 4 and get it back on my hook. So that way now we've just finished the outside edge there of the purple. And so now what I want to do is connect the other end here. So I still have these 2 black ones on my hook. I'm just going to go through 2 black that are a little bit more towards the left hand side here. So I'm just going to stick my hook through from the back to the front, and then I'm going to take these 2 black and slide them through the other 2 black that are on my hook. And now I'm going to come over to the right hand side here. I have this black circle that was my initial cap band that I made. I'm going to grab those 2 and pull them through. And then finally I have these 2 black bands that I have my hook through, or my clip through I mean. Just going to go through those 2, take off my clip, and then I'm going to slide the 2 that are on the end of my hook, slide them through the other 2, and now I'm going to take this clip and put it back on. And then I also want to attach the clip somewhere to the inside of the bracelet, just so it's not sticking out. So I'll just find 2 other black bands here, and I'll just put them through. And so there you have your bracelet. I hope that everyone loves their new fan bracelets. You can always leave me comments on YouTube and Facebook, post pictures of your creations to my Facebook page, and please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can stay up to date on my latest tutorials. You can also find me on Pinterest and Instagram, so please feel free to subscribe to those as well. Thanks for watching!